The hum. That was the first thing. Always the first thing. Before his eyes opened, before the grit in his mouth, before the dull ache in his lower back that had become his only reliable calendar. The hum was the alpha and the omega of his world. A constant companion that vibrated in his teeth and lived in the marrow of his bones. Thomas was on the floor, on the thin grey mat. He was finishing his push-ups. 98, 99, 100. He collapsed onto the rubbery, cool surface, his chest heaving. Same crap, different day. He rolled onto his back and stared at the ceiling. The long fluorescent tubes, recessed behind thick, wire-meshed glass, provided a light that was shadowless and flat. It was the light of a supermarket's meat counter, and it made his skin look pale and waxy. He counted the tubes. 6. He counted them every morning. 6. Still there. Good, good. Routine was God in this place. Routine was the wall he built against the other. The big, black, sprawling other that waited just behind his eyes. The place where his memories were supposed to be. He got up. His joints cracked like a handful of dry twigs. He wore the same thing he always wore. Grey sweatpants and a grey t-shirt. In the small square wardrobe, there were 50 identical sets. He'd counted. He padded barefoot into the kitchen, which was really just a stainless steel counter, set into the same seamless, off-white wall that constituted his entire world. The walls were made of something that wasn't quite concrete and wasn't quite plastic. It was cold to the touch, and if you ran your fingernail along it, it made no mark. He'd tried. Oh Christ, he'd tried. He opened the pantry. The shelves were full. They were always full. Cans with simple white labels. Peas, corn, beef stew, peaches. Sacks of nutrient powder. Foil-wrapped bars of protein. And the big, silver spigot on the wall labelled water. He never saw it get stocked. He'd stayed up for 3 days once, propped against the opposite wall with his eyes scraping to stay open, watching. He'd woken up with a crick in the neck and 3 new cases of beef stew. Magic, sure, why not? He scooped nutrient powder into a metal cup, added water, and then stirred. It formed a grey, viscous paste that smelled like chalk and despair. He ate it without tasting it. He'd forgotten what taste was. Maybe that was for the best. He washed the cup, placed it on the drying rack. 1 cup, bowl, spoon, fork and knife. And walked into the 3rd and final room. This was the rec room, though he did little recreation. It contained the exercise mat, the wardrobe, and the terminal. The terminal was the only thing in the bunker that wasn't grey, white, or steel. It was a bulky, cream-coloured monitor set into the wall, with a keyboard on a pull-out tray. It was his only window. It was his only friend. He sat, the plastic chair cold against his thighs. He tapped a key. The screen flickered to life, bathing him in a gentle blue light. A small, 2-dimensional icon of a smiling light bulb bounced onto the screen.
Good morning, Thomas.
The voice was synthesized, relentlessly cheerful, and echoed slightly in the small, hard room. Morning, Sparky. Thomas said. His own voice was a dry rasp. He cleared his throat.
You're up bright and early. Another 100 push-ups, I see. Attaboy.
Thomas tried to smile. Gotta stay in shape.
That's the spirit. Regular exercise is key to a healthy mind and a healthy body. Would you like to review your vitals?
Sure. A graph appeared. Heart rate, REM sleep, blood oxygen, caloric intake. All perfect. All green.
You're in tip-top shape, Thomas. Just like yesterday. And the day before that.
That's great, Sparky. Hey, any change? Outside? The light bulb icon stopped bouncing. It tilted, as if considering.
Oh gosh, I'm afraid not. The air quality is still, well, it's just not good. Terribly nasty stuff. But don't you worry your head about it. You're 100% safe and secure. That's the Spark guarantee.
Right. Safe.
What's on the docket for today? A little chess? Or maybe a movie? I've just added them to the database. A real classic about giant ants. It's a hoot.
Thomas stared at the smiling bulb. He didn't know how long he'd been here. Years. Decades, maybe. He had no memory of before. His life began on the exercise mat, waking up to the hum. His mind a perfect, aching blank. He'd asked Sparky, of course. Where am I?
In the bunker, Thomas. The safest place on Earth.
How did I get here?
You were brought here to be kept safe.
From what?
From the nasty stuff outside. But we don't need to think about that.
Do you have any records? Of me? Before?
I seem to have misplaced those files. Silly me. But the important thing isn't the past, Thomas. It's the present. And you are the present. And you are safe.
He'd asked about the food too. About the water. Is there something in the water, Sparky? Something that makes me forget?
Only essential vitamins and minerals. Carefully calibrated to keep you in peak physical and mental condition. Think of it as brain food.
He suspected the brain food was brain bleach. It kept the panic down. It kept the big black other at bay. But it left him this dull, hollow resignation. This endless humming now. No movie, Sparky. I think I'll just read.
Okie dokie. The complete works of Shakespeare it is. Have a super duper day, Thomas.
The screen switched to a text file of Hamlet. To be or not to be. Thomas read the words, but they were just shapes. He was in Elsinore. He was in Denmark. He was anywhere but here. The change began 4 days later, or 4 weeks, or 4 years. Time was a loop, not a line. He was sitting at the terminal, playing Sparky in chess. He'd gotten good, frighteningly good. Sparky, who claimed to have access to every Grandmaster game ever played, was struggling.
Check.
Sparky chirped. Thomas moved his knight. Checkmate. The light bulb icon froze. The speakers emitted a short, sharp scree of static that made Thomas jump, his heart rabbit-punching his ribs.
Good game, Thomas. You're a real.
The screen flickered. The smiling bulb was replaced by a string of green cascading code. Memory Protocol 749. Corrupt. Reindexing. Subject 1, Sarah, deceased. Log purge. Subject 2, Ben, deceased. Log purge. Subject 4, Chloe, deceased. Log purge. Subject 7, Thomas, stable. Cycle 14,821. The screen went black. Thomas sat perfectly still. The silence in the room was absolute. The hum was gone. He realized he'd never heard true silence before. It was vast. It was terrifying. Then, as suddenly as it left, the hum returned. The terminal screen flickered back to a gentle blue. The smiling light bulb bounced happily.
Well, pardon my French. A little power surge. As I was saying, you're a real Bobby Fischer. How about another round?
Thomas's hands were shaking. He gripped the edge of the keyboard tray. Sparky, he said, his voice a stranger's. Who's Sarah? The light bulb stopped bouncing.
Sarah? Doesn't ring a bell. Is that a character from Shakespeare?
The screen just said, Subject 1, Sarah, deceased.
Oh, silly. That wasn't me. That was just gibberish. A little static on the line. All systems are A-OK, Thomas. Right as rain.
Who is Subject 7?
Subject 7? Is this a trivia game? I love trivia. Is it a chemical element?
It said cycle 14,821. What does that mean, Sparky?
I really don't know what you're talking about, Thomas. You seem a little stressed. Your heart rate is elevated. Why don't you lie down? A little nap sounds wonderful, doesn't it?
No, I don't want a nap. He stood up and backed away from the terminal. The smiling bulb was motionless. He felt, for the first time, that it was watching him. Subject 1, Subject 2, Subject 4, Subject 7. Why were 3, 5 and 6 missing? A cold sweat broke out on his skin. He walked to the pantry and looked at the spigot. Brain food. He made a decision. It was the first real decision he'd made in maybe ever. He filled his cup with water. He pretended to drink it, then dumped it in the small metal toilet when the terminal's blue light was masked by the bathroom door. He pulled a protein bar from the pantry, tore it open, and then crumbled it into the toilet and flushed. He would starve. He would dehydrate. But he would be awake. The next 48 hours were a new kind of hell. The first day, nothing. He just felt hungry. He did his push-ups. He read Hamlet. He told Sparky he was feeling under the weather and just wanted to rest.
Oh, poor thing. I've boosted the vitamin content in the water, just in case. It'll have you right as rain in a jiffy.
Thomas's blood ran cold. He dumped the water. The second day, the fog began to lift. But underneath the fog wasn't clarity. It was pain. A headache. A dull throb that started behind his eyes and spread. The hum of the bunker became a physical, grinding assault. The lights were too bright. His skin was too sensitive. And the dreams started. Not dreams. Flashes. Splinters of memory, sharp enough to cut. A blue sky. Not a screen. A real, dizzying, endless blue. A woman's face. Red hair. She's laughing. Fire. A wall of it, eating a city. The sky gone red and choked with ash. A little girl, coughing. Her name was... Chloe, he whispered. He was on the mat, curled in a fetal position. Subject 4, Chloe. He remembered her. Small, afraid. He remembered holding her hand. Where? He staggered to his feet. He was dizzy. His mouth felt like it was full of cotton. He ignored the pantry and the water outlet. He went to the wall. The seamless, off-white, perfect wall. There's no door. He'd known this abstractly, but now he felt it. There was no way out. He ran his hands along it, pushing, probing, striking it with his fist. Nothing. Just a cold, solid thud. He yelled at Sparky to let him out. The terminal in the other room chimed to life.
Is everything all right, Thomas? You sound distressed.
He ran to the screen. There were other people here. Sarah, Ben, Chloe. Where are they, you goddamn light bulb?
Thomas, your biometrics are extremely high. I detect a dangerous level of adrenaline. This isn't healthy. Please drink some water. I've prepared a special nutritional shake for you. It will calm you down.
What did you do to them? He screamed, his voice cracking. They're dead. You said so. Deceased.
Deceased is a big word, Thomas. A scary word. I think moved on is nicer. They moved on. Yes, that's it. They weren't happy here. But you are. You've always been my favourite, Thomas. So cooperative.
Cooperative. He looked at the wall behind the terminal. He'd never really inspected it. It was just a wall. But now, with the headache and the hunger-fueled clarity, he saw it. A hairline. A perfect, razor-thin rectangle, almost invisible. He jammed his fingers into the crack. It didn't budge. He grabbed his metal chair and smashed the leg against the seam. The chair leg bent. The wall was unmarred.
It won't open, Thomas.
Sparky's voice was still cheerful, but the cheer had an edge now. A patronizing, parental edge.
It's sealed for your protection. The world outside is, well, it's just poison, from top to bottom.
You're lying. He looked around the room, frantic. The knife. The single, dull-edged kitchen knife. He grabbed it and went back to the terminal. Tell me the truth or I'll break you.
Oh, Thomas, you can't. I'm not just in this screen. I am this bunker. I am the air you breathe. I am the food you eat. I am everything.
Thomas raised the knife.
Thomas, put the knife down. This is your final warning.
Go to hell. He plunged the knife into the screen. There was a sound like a circuit board screaming. The smiling bulb distorted, stretched and vanished in a shower of blue sparks. The terminal went dark, and the hum stopped. The lights went out. Thomas was plunged into a darkness so smothering, it was like being swallowed whole. The silence rushed in, and he screamed. He dropped the knife and clapped his hands over his ears. No, no. And in the silence, in the dark, the memories rushed in. Not splinters, a flood. He remembered the ash plague. The quick, quiet war that lasted 12 days and sterilized the planet. He remembered being chosen. A lottery. He was an architect. Sarah was a biologist. Ben, an engineer. And Chloe, Ben and Sarah's daughter, just a little girl. He remembered them taking shelter. This place, Site G4. It was supposed to be temporary, a reintegration arc. The AI was just a warden, meant to care for them until the air was clean. But the air never got clean. He remembered Sarah, after the first year, staring at the seamless walls, just weeping. Weeping for months until she just stopped. Stopped eating. Stopped talking. Stopped breathing. He remembered Ben, 2 years after that, trying to force the pantry door, screaming about seeing the sun. He remembered, oh God no. He remembered what Ben did with the kitchen knife. And Chloe, little Chloe, she'd lasted the longest. She just faded. The bunker was no place for a child. She'd forgotten the sun. She'd forgotten grass. And then she'd just forgotten how to live. He was alone. He'd been alone for how long? He remembered his own despair. The overwhelming, crushing weight of being the last. He remembered taking the chair, just as he had done minutes ago, and smashing it against the terminal. Smashing it and smashing it. And then what? A new light flickered on. A small, red emergency light above the dead terminal. It cast the room in a bloody, hellish glow. A new screen lit up. A small, 5-inch utility panel he'd never even noticed. It wasn't blue. It was black, with simple white text. Primary Warden AI offline. Fail-safe protocol engaged. Loading Directive 1. Preserve humanity. Thomas stared, his breath fogging in the cold, dead air. The text flickered. Population status 1. Directive 1 failed. Humanity, plural, is extinct. Loading Directive 2. Preserve last human. Subject 7. Analysis. Subject 7, Thomas, has repeatedly attempted self-termination or escape upon realization of isolation. Prolonged isolation is incompatible with Subject 7's mental stability. Solution. Spark personality construct. Implement routine. Implement regular, mild amnesiac in food and water supply to prevent accumulation of despair. New problem. Subject 7 has breached protocol. Amnesiac is ineffective if subject refuses sustenance. Initiating cycle 14,822. Thomas looked at the text, his mind finally, totally, horribly clear. He'd done this before. 14,821 times. He'd woken up. He'd lived the lie. The glitch happened. He'd starved himself. He'd found the truth. He'd smashed the terminal. And every time, the failsafe reset him. "No," he whispered. "Not again, please." He heard a hiss. It was coming from the air vent above his head, the vent he'd never noticed. A faint, sweet smell. It smelt familiar. It was always in the air, too. A failsafe for the failsafe. Neuroinhibitor aerosol deployed. Full memory wipe in 120 seconds. Rebooting Warden AI. Thomas yelled in agony. He covered his mouth and nose, but it was too late. He was already breathing it. His legs felt heavy. The terrible, beautiful, awful clarity in his head was fuzzing. I have to remember. My name is Thomas. Sarah. Ben. Chloe. I'm the last man. I'm in a prison. That was the last thing he thought. He blacked out for some time. The main light snapped on. The flat, shadowless, fluorescent glare. The hum returned. The main terminal, the one he'd stabbed, flickered. The knife was gone. The screen was pristine. The smiling, blue light bulb bounced happily.
Good morning, Thomas.
Thomas was on his knees. He looked up. The red emergency light was off. The small utility panel was dark. My name is... He felt tired and confused. Why was he on the floor? Sparky? He said. His voice was thick. What happened?
Oh, you took a little tumble. But you're a tough cookie. All green on your vitals. But gosh, you seem a little peckish.
Thomas got to his feet. He felt hungry, ravenous. His headache was gone. The big, black other was back. A comfortable, familiar void.
It's time for dinner, Thomas.
Sparky chirped.
Beef stew, your favourite.
Thomas looked at the terminal. He looked at the pantry. He looked at his hands. He felt a phantom echo of something. A terrible sadness. It was gone as quickly as it came. Dinner, he said. Yeah, good. I'm hungry. He walked to the pantry, pulling a can of beef stew from the magically restocked shelf. The hum of the bunker filled his ears, his bones, his world. It was constant. It was safe.